Hey look, it's patience and fortitude. Alright, so let's go for a walk. It's very cold out here, and now I've put on a toboggan because I was beginning to feel like I might be going to get an ear infection from the cold, and I try to avoid that ever since several years ago playing the genie in Aladdin. I got an ear infection. I don't know if it was shaving my head and all the water and shaving foam being on my head for a long time. I don't know if it's the blue makeup itself. I don't know if it was the fact that the first day I was in full makeup, I couldn't put a hat or anything on over myself, and we went to school, doing a little snippet of the show, the library, different places, and I was constantly outside in the cold, icy weather. So I got an ear infection, then I had to get a cortisone shot to do the show. So if you see the recording of the rehearsal, my energy's way down, and I went and got the cortisone shot, and so the night of the performance, through the roof, you know, I felt so much better. Wow, what happened to that house? Yeesh. Anyway, ever since getting that one ear infection, I have to be really careful about them. Come to find out, it's a genetic trait. My grandmother had this, my mother, my uncle on that side, and it's a family condition known as Meniere's disease. And it's specifically about the ear, named after the doctor that discovered it, the French doctor that discovered it. My grandmother, the first time she was diagnosed with it, said, Meniere's disease? What, you mean I got in my ears? So, that one broken tree, just so forlorn. Huh. Anyway, so I wrote a piece on Battlestar Galactica toys for Sequart Publishing, and I mentioned a childhood acquaintance, and he lived here on the same street as my grandmother, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses away on the other side of the street. The character in the book I called Myron, which is not his real name, because the character in the book was an amalgam of 3 people. 1, the real kid. 2, myself. And 3, my friend John Davis, who I've talked about in the Toyaholic video series before. So some of the specific things that Myron had done were things that John had done, things that I had done, and things that this kid had done. This is the house that he lived in with his grandparents. So when I would come visit my grandparents in the summertime, I was always given a hero's welcome by the boys on this block. You know, it's, oh, Alex is here, Alex is here. And one specific story that I remember about Myron was sitting in his yard here, and he was showing me his Clash of the Titans action figure collection. He had all 4 of them. Perseus and Thallo and Charon and Calibos, and he was sitting there going, man, I can't believe I own the entire Clash of the Titans collection. It's like, dude, there are 4, you know. Star Wars collection's 5 times as large.
Wait, did I say 5 times? Clash of the Titans came out in '81. There would have been 10 times as many Star Wars figures at minimum.
Anyway, it's like, okay, I get it. I'm the Star Wars guy, you're the Clash of the Titans guy, got it, you know. So but in the book, I described, in the essay, I didn't write an entire book, I wrote an essay for a book. In the essay, I described him as looking like a young Egon Spengler, which is true. If you've ever read the novelization of Ghostbusters by Richard Mueller, there are some childhood anecdotes about what it was like with Egon Spengler as a kid, including the time that he made a compact explosive out of chicken dung and, you know, vaporized a train set and, you know, shattered windows for a 3-block radius. The kid that lived here one time took a bunch of household chemicals and mixed a pesticide that not only killed a cricket, but completely dissolved it. Yeah, I was mildly terrified of him. He's the one that took 2 very common household tools and showed me how to bypass the safety feature on the Battlestar Galactica launching rockets. You know, after someone had already died from swallowing one and the manufacturers changed them to be safer, he unsafed them. So he was very pale, very tall, lean for his age, gawky at that, you know, prepubescent stage. big, thick Coke bottle glasses, and a shock of wiry, dark red hair. But I don't really remember him having freckles. So anyway, that's the components that were real to the kid that lived here. Also, the first person I saw with a gold Cylon from Battlestar Galactica. So right here. And then some of the other things attributed to him in the book were things I did, or things John did. So he was one of the kids. Myron, Clifford, Brian, Ben, they're the main four that I remember. And then, you know, sort of like our gang or Little Rascals, there'd sort of be a changing rotation that would, you know, terrorize this neighborhood for 2 weeks out of every summer. The other kids would sort of rotate in and out, but we were the main bunch of them. So I have another story about Myron that takes place here back at the front steps of my grandparents' house from the 70s. These stone lions, patience and fortitude as I like to call them, were not there back then, but these brick steps were. And one day Myron came over and he had his case full of action figures with him. Now, he didn't have the real kind of Star Wars 24 case back in the day. Oh man, I thought that was going to open real easy and it's not. There we go. And to demonstrate, I actually bought one of these off eBay sometime last year, and this is my first time taking it out. So, right in the middle of a memory story, you get an unboxing video. This is a Star World figure case for ages 3 and over. Holds 12 space figures. And I love the character here of like female Darth Vader with a skirt and boobs. And Chewbacca in armor and everything there. So, wonderful case. Now, the inside had this tray that's super, super flimsy. Looks like whoever owned this one actually did put a bunch of Star Wars 24 case stickers in it, because it says Sand People, Sand People, Sand People, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, Stormtrooper, Darth Vader, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper. He owned 3 Darth Vaders? He had more Darth Vaders than he had of Sand People? No, equal amount. Yeah, he had 3 of everybody, so, okay. So Myron comes over with his Star World case, and we're comparing things, and he's extremely covetous of my newly arrived mail-away Boba Fett. And this is where it dawns on me as I tell this story that I had actually mailed off enough proofs of purchase to receive 2 Boba Fetts in the mail. And Myron wanted to barter. So he starts offering me things. I'm like, no, no, no. And he started adding more and more and more to it. So I'm pretty sure that I got 2 Stormtroopers for a Boba Fett. Pretty sure I got at least 1 Sand Person for a Boba Fett, which is funny that this case only has Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, and Sand Person mentioned. I might have gotten 2 Sand People and 2 Stormtroopers, because they were some of the first ones that I really had army builders of. And then he threw in something else to sweeten the deal. It was a flimsy, generic space Wookiee, and it intrigued me. And I don't know what happened to it. I think it just broke. I think it was just a brittle, inferior plastic and did not survive the 1970s to be in my collection still today. But I wish it had, because while researching this topic to try to find some graphics to put in the video, I discovered that those cheap knockoff toys from the 70s are now worth far more money than the sturdy Kenner Star Wars figures. So, guess who got the bad end of that deal? Where Myron still got a Boba Fett and I got no Space Wookiee. Here's something funny that just happened that I wasn't expecting in this video. Right about here, as I was going to preset this figure in the back bedroom for an anecdote, I caught myself instinctively moving the action figure to the right so that it did not go directly over the floor vent. Now, I have no specific memory of ever dropping an action figure accessory into the vent and losing it, but it must have happened because, man, that was like programming in my brain. that has not been accessed in a very long time.